Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach. Today is Friday, November 11th, 2022. Happy Veterans Day, everybody out there. And for all the brave men and women, thank you very much for your service to our wonderful country. Very, very much appreciated and certainly should not go overlooked. So definitely wanted to start out the podcast by thanking every current, former, and those that are going to become members of our military. Just hats off and a tip of the hat to you. So appreciate all of you joining me. Deb is going to be joining me here in just a bit. She's finishing up on a call and she's going to jump in here in just a little bit. So I'm going to get some of the preliminary stuff done on the front side. We'll start breaking things down a little bit. And then when Deb jumps in, we're going to go game by game over all eight NBA Main Slate games tonight. Terrific card. Some great competitions out there. Some good contests is the word I was looking for. And just happy to see everybody jumping in with us. Those that happened to miss the pod yesterday, it was members only pod. We're going to do that several times per week. We're going to have some in front of the paywall still. And we will also have some that are for members only. So if you want to join, we would love to have you. I mean, it is time. If you're a long-time listener, come and join us. You can get in for a full week. Everything that we've got, lineups, the whole 9 yards, $9. Can't beat it. Try us out. I think you'll love being part of the best community. If you enjoy these podcasts, then you're certainly really going to enjoy being part of the Coach Talk family. And we would really welcome you aboard. I just clicked on so you can see there is the link if you want to become a member. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask those right here during the podcast, and I'll go over whatever questions that you have. But you do get, we had a few come in, and you do get everything that we have once you become a member. It's not just per sport. Once you're in the main chat with us in Discord, you'll get an invite as soon as you sign up. And then once you jump in there, all of our sports, all of the information goes right into Discord, and you'll have everything there that you need to crush all these slates. This weekend's going to be a lot of fun. We've got, of course, tons of NBA action. NFL Sunday is going to be a big part of the weekend. We also have MMA, we have NASCAR, and PGA golf. So we've got a lot of the key sports tonight. We'll have ownership posting for all of those on our exclusively on our website, or I mean, not on our website, but on our Discord. So you'll have ownership of the sports. You'll have all of our pros' opinions. We'll build some lineups for you and really help you get after it. So very excited for that. Let me say hello to those Veterans Day Friday people that are in the live chat already. So we got a big group in. It usually takes a while for everybody to drift in, but we have some early birds today. King of all trades is the king of all winners today, being the first one, not only the first one in the chat, but he sends a TGIF NBA slate vibes. So really good vibes starting out right off the bat. Gotta love that. So thank you for jumping in there early. He just nipped literally by seconds because it was the same minute. Stacks money double sevens. Mr. Luca there just got nipped for first one in, but we do appreciate that you're with us and you're in early. Rodney Pollard, always an early guest to the podcast. He was in there. So how are you today? Earl Tyson, known as Mike. We know that he is with us today and that he does not care anything about FanDuel. So Mr. Tyson, we won't focus on FanDuel for you. No, I'm messing with you. Deb and I will build a two brains are better than one FanDuel GPP at the end of the podcast. And we're also going to give a ticket away for the contest tonight. So, lot to stick around for throughout the podcast today. JT, also known as Justin Timberlake, tons of value tonight. Yes, there might be. We're going to go over that. A lot of it is in one game, though, so we're going to have to evaluate that and break that down as we're looking at it. Big man Jay Blazing is blazing into the podcast today. How are you, my friend? Rico Harris, let's get multiple wins tonight, Mr. Rico. I'm all for that. Absolute Power says, great slate. What's up? You know what? I agree with you. I absolutely do, Mr. Absolute Power. I think it is a fine slate that you have a lot of build options. As mentioned, there's some good value in here. And there's some, I think, smart pay-ups. And even better, my favorite thing, I think there's some great fades. There's nothing better than fading like a 30, 40% owned player that just, what's the bed. And then you've got a big advantage on everybody. So I think it's a good setup tonight. I'm really looking forward to building some lineups. Archie Moss, how are you, my friend? Great to have you in here with us. I know you haven't been a frequent guest that I'm aware of. So you're no longer a guest, Archie, because I know it's not your first time listening to a podcast. So you're part of the family as well. Aloysius 5, high five for Mr. Aloysius. I am not solo today. No worries. You're going to get Deb jumping in here. She should be in here in about 5 minutes. So things will brighten up here pretty quickly, Earl. Travis Wyndham, owner of all the Wyndham hotel chains. How are you, my friend? Great to have somebody of your wealth in here with us. Then we've got, who else here? Yeah, like button should be smashed. I agree. Somebody in here always says to gingerly press the like button. So whoever that is, we need that posted as well. But if you can give us a quick thumbs up, that is fantastic. Travis reminded me, I always forget to ask for those thumbs ups. And we would really appreciate it because it helps us on YouTube greatly. Here's one, Twin Ball 7. Twin Ball, are you new to the family here? I'm not sure. My brain always doesn't work great. So if you are new, welcome. I think I've seen you in here one other time, but great to have you with us today. Hopefully you'll be with us for the long term. We're not fearing money, Entertainment LLC. We are welcoming the money. If you saw my post today, it was Financial Freedom Friday for the Coach Talk family. So we're going to try to bust it today. Somebody won the couple $billion in the lotto, I guess I heard a little bit ago. So I don't know if we're going to win a couple billion tonight, but I would like some of our family to definitely cash in and get after it. Nathan Feudy, how are you, my friend? And Lanuka A, great to see you as well. Love this Friday group. I knew we were going to get a great group in here. Mike Spear, thank you, sir. Great podcast already from Mike. So I appreciate you, my friend. Hope you listen every day. We'd love to have you in here. As you can see, I have, Twin Ball 7, not seen here since the beginning of baseball. My goodness, man, we need to get you going for basketball and football as well. So great to have you with us again, my friend. But as you can see on the screen here, I highlighted it. If you would like to become a member at Coach Talk, there is no better time like the present, especially now that we are bringing some of our knowledge and all of our sharing of information behind the paywall. So we do have, I have posted at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter. If you want to see our podcast schedule, there are some podcasts that you will have access to, like this one. We'll do a couple of those per week. And then we're going to have other podcasts that are behind the paywall for members only. We want to break down, do some builds, just open it up a little bit for all the folks out there. And we would welcome all of you to come and try us out. So certainly $9 for a week. And then you can make some determinations from there if you haven't been a part of what we're doing before, or if you're somebody like my friend there, Mike Spear, that was part of the family before. we'd love to have you back. Come and try us out. Remember, the difference. We had somebody at the very end of the podcast yesterday, and I answered right as we were leaving because I missed part of it, but they had asked, what more information do you get that we're not sharing on this podcast? Well, we do try to share everything on the podcast. I never hold anything back. I'm going to tell you what I think, who to fade, what I'm playing, and I don't give out all chalk. Neither does Deb or Crash or any or Steven. We really just try to shoot straight for you. But when you're a member, you're actually going to get more information, more posting of ownership. All of that information is accessible to our members. And that is a really big thing. Knowing where all that leverage is and what to play, very, very important. And that's something that, we offer every day in all of our main sports in Discord. Also, what you get is you're getting lineups. We recommend people on here and we're going to give advice and give all that info, but we're sticking our necks out there for members. And we are putting, because of DraftKings guidelines, we put a core group of players there, which is allowed by them, not a full lineup. We do that for our members in Discord. And then we give a full lineup out for both FanDuel and Yahoo. And you're not going to just get one. You're going to get my single entry, which I play sort of everywhere, but mainly in single entry and cash. And then you're also going to get whoever the other person is providing lineups, whether it be Crash or Deb or Steven. You'll also get a GPP build core for DraftKings, full lineups for FanDuel and Yahoo. So that is, there's a lot more that you get with your membership other than just being a part of a fantastic community. And we're really strict too in the fact that we don't allow any negative chatter, any, bunch of garbage. I mean, we step on that real quick. I would rather have less members and that everybody's a family, everybody's positive, everybody's trying to get after it together than people in there sniping and biting and pointing fingers. Just not what our culture is here at Coach Talk. So I think those that are our family will enjoy that and continue to enjoy it, and they'll attest to it. And those that haven't experienced that, I think it'll be a real refreshing thing for you. So give us a try. We'd love to have you. We've had a few other people jump in here. Doug L, are fantastic. Doug L's going to be Doug W tonight. We're going to have to change that last initial because we're going to have some winners for you tonight, Doug. My man RJ, what's up? Here's a couple of new folks, I think. And I apologize if you're not. I just don't remember. It's just Layla. How are you, my friend? Great to have you with us. Hope you'll be part of the family and listening to all of our podcasts. Same thing with Fresh to Thatty, I believe. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Fantastic to have you with us as well. Get to it, please. I'm with you, Fresh to Thatty. I'm stalling a little bit because I want Deb to jump in. I apologize. You're right, though, my friend. I know we're all busy, and I am going to get to it. So why don't we do this to start off? Oh, first of all, I have to say hello to my favorite person, Katie. Hi, Katie. I always got to remember my bestie, Katie. All right, here we go. Fresh to Thatty. How about we get to Thatty and let's talk about some ownership. That is key on this slate. So we're going to go right directly there. How you doing, Jack Reggie? That's somebody new. I don't know Jack Reggie. I love the fact that we're getting a bunch of new people, and I hope that you tune in every day. Ownership on DraftKings. Very interesting. How about 3 of the top 4 owned players right now happen to be Milwaukee Bucks? I don't know if it's people freaking out because they had that double overtime game against Oklahoma City, or because everybody in the world for Milwaukee's out, maybe a combination. I get it, but I'm not stacking Milwaukee. I don't recommend big stacks on slates like this anyway. If you have 16 teams playing 8 different games, you don't need to stack 3, 4, 5 guys from a team. That works in baseball, for Twin Ball 7 or whoever who was in here with baseball, we'll do that. But when it comes to NBA, just not a conducive way to consistently win, because there's only so many DFS points. You're going to have some people have ceiling games, but unless you get a double overtime game like Milwaukee had last time, where you're getting all those extra potential DFS points, it becomes a little bit difficult to stack and really maximize. So I like to pick my spots with those stacks anyway. Joe K, how you doing, my friend? Great to have you with us. All right, so Javon Carter at 5,300 is 37% projected. Bobby Portis at 7,000 didn't have the game everybody thought he would the last time out. A lot of people going back to him. He's at 32%. Malik Monk happens to be third at 4,500 bucks, with the Lakers being out and now it looking like Anthony Davis super questionable. He's at 23% at 4,500 bucks. It could be a terrific play. Very well could be a value play that I'm going to go to. My hero from the slate the other night, Brook Lopez, had plugged him in at center alongside Portis. He was a lot lower owned than Portis. He's up to 6,300 though, so he's taken a big leap in cost, but he really did come through, had a phenomenal game last time out. He's at 22%. Russ Westbrook is sort of moving to number one with a bullet here, especially if AD's out. We know LeBron's out. They're shorthanded. It's against Sacramento, and Russ is 7,300, which is a fair number. We know his usage is going to go through the roof. I see Deb. I see Deb's hand.
I don't know why I'm not in the screen. What's going on?
Hi, Deb's hand. How are you? You can wave to us anyway.
I think I'm on the wrong. I think I'm on the wrong camera. I'm going to switch up there, and you keep going. I'm enjoying.
That is hilarious. All right, we'll let you get settled in there. All right, so the rest of the chalky guys, Russ, we said again, 7,300 is 22%. This one is interesting. Cam Reddish, only 3,100 bucks, playing like dog doo-doo though. He's 20% owned. I know he's been starting. It's against a crappy team, but man, that seems like a very risky proposition. I'm going to give you 18 through 15% projected ownership. And then Deb and I will start breaking these games down. Klay Thompson, Domantas Sabonis, Grayson Allen, Cade Cunningham, he's questionable, but he's up there. DeAndre Ayton, Jaylen Brown at the 8,200 number. Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, both about 16%. The Spurs always seem to get ownership. Darius Garland, who really had a terrible game, 1 for 9 from the field last time, 15%. And then Kevin Love back in the mix, 4,800. Jalen Brunson, 6,800, 14%. So that's what we've got on DraftKings. Real quickly on FanDuel, it's the same scenario. Portis, Carter, Westbrook. Anthony Edwards, though, getting some love. And then you have Klay Thompson at 5,700, a little higher on FanDuel because of the pricing. De'Aaron Fox is somebody showing up on that one. Dylan Brooks also at 5,300, getting a lot of love there. Brook Lopez, Anthony Davis, if he goes, which I don't think personally he's going to go. He's listed questionable, but we all know when he's questionable, that's doubtful for every other human being that plays basketball. Then you got Pat Bev sneaking in the top 10 right now, projected on FanDuel at 4,200. Jumping Ja Morant didn't quite get it done for me the other day. Desmond Bane, Scotty Barnes, Devin Vassell, and Malik Monk. And then the last look is Yahoo. Again, Javon Carter, Bobby Portis, but Grayson Allen, 28%, third highest. A guy that wasn't on the other list, but on Yahoo, he's fourth. That's Julius Randle at 29 bucks at 27%. Brook Lopez, Anthony Davis, Jason Tatum, Vassell, Bane. We do have a Rudy Gobert sighting here on Yahoo. He's ninth overall, 28 bucks at 21%. Jaylen Brown, a Michael Porter Jr. look at only 21. Dylan Brooks, Ja Morant, Russ Westbrook. Again, I think that'll increase, especially if we get news on Anthony Davis. Last couple of guys, Draymond Green, for some reason, I don't agree with that play. Lonnie Walker, Cat, and a really interesting $12 play that I want to talk about when we get to this game. First time that I'm discussing him this year, and that's Troy Brown Jr. At $12 on Yahoo. Hey, look at this. We got matching shirts on.
Oh my God, we're twinsies. We're
That's
twins.
awesome. So good stuff, man. All right. So here we go. Fire up Payne. I know Cameron Payne just took down the slate for me last time. He was a plug and play if you were on that podcast, and he was a 50 burger plus. So he was awesome.
And Paul is out. Paul is out.
Chris Paul is officially out. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of people we're looking at. So Anthony Davis, questionable. I'm counting him as, I don't think he's going to play, but we don't know that.
Way.
So we're going to follow it. Paul out.
He never plays when he's questionable.
Pardon me?
He never plays when he's questionable.
Very seldom. Very, very seldom. Cade Cunningham still questionable, and Paolo Banchero is questionable as well. So those are the main ones. We went over ownership, and now we're ready to attack this game by game, if that works. Are you ready, Deb? Are you frozen, Deb?
I'm noticing, though, there's like an echo. So.
Oh, okay. You're just
frozen.
a little delayed, but you're good.
Can you hear me?
That's better.
Yeah, there's a delay, so I'm going to try and go on my headphones.
Yeah, the AirPods never seem to get it done time-wise. I don't know.
I know. All right.
Look, you're
we're good now.
Getting everybody saying hello to you, though, so that's cool.
Hey, yeah.
People were panicking that I was going to be solo again. Who was it that was saying, "Oh no, Coach is solo"? And so I did commit to us doing a 2 brains are better than 1 at the end, if you're cool with that.
Awesome.
All right, family, here we go. Put any questions you have in there. Don't forget, if you want to become a member of Coach Talk, you see the link right there, dfscoachtalk.com. Hit that thumbs up. And if you're on Twitter, like and retweet. We'd really appreciate that. Game 1, Deb, Phoenix Suns. You know that team a little bit. They are playing. They're playing at the Orlando Magic. The lowest total on the board today, 217. And it is the Suns by 7.5, 112.25 implied for Phoenix, 104.75 for Orlando. And you've got injury-wise, we know Chris Paul is out, Wainwright questionable, no Crowder, Johnson, or Shamet. Orlando has Banchero and Harris questionable. We know that Anthony Fultz Harris, the other Harris, G Harris, not K Harris, he's out. Isaac and Mo Wagner. So Orlando playing with half a squad yet once again. Suns come in 8-3. Magic are 3-9. Phoenix, the 27th pace team in the league. They're playing slow ball. Orlando, 18th. They have definitely slowed down from last year. Phoenix, the number 2 defensive efficient team in the association. Orlando, not so much, at 20th. So we've got game 1 here. We talked a little bit about ownership. The Chris Paul news definitely gets everybody flocking to Cameron Payne. Payne is not a free square at 5.7, but against Orlando, we saw what he's capable of doing, and he got it done for us last time. So what do you have for this game, Deb? And are you going to be on the Payne bandwagon?
Yeah, I am probably going to be on the Payne bandwagon. Not 100% given the pricing, and actually I need to look at him what he is on FanDuel. I know on DK he's not a free square.
Right.
Let's see. I don't have him on FanDuel.
I can pull up FanDuel and Yahoo in a second here too.
Right, cool. So I do like him a lot, though. I think he's playing much more confidently this year. I've watched him live. So I do really like him, and I don't, backcourt defense on Orlando is nothing to be scared about. They're going to be really thin in the backcourt today because not only are they, missing Paul, but also they're missing Shamet.
Right.
And so I think that Payne's going to get a lot of minutes, as many as he can handle. So I'm definitely tending towards him. I'm also tending towards Booker, based on the same theory. Going to get a lot of minutes. Not too worried about the defense. In fact, I think Orlando's one of the worst in the league at 3 points allowed. So I really like Booker, even though he's up there over 9K. And then, I might make a sneaky play in a GPP on Damian Lee. He's shown a lot of leadership when he's out on the floor. He's aggressive. I think this is the kind of team he can play well against. And again, there's going to be some minutes there because he can kind of play everything from the 1 to the 4, frankly. And and so I see him taking some of Cam Johnson's minutes, some of Cam Payne's minutes, and so I like him as well tonight. And then on the other side of things, I'm not too thrilled. I really want to see the news on Banchero. I think Banchero's of interest to me if he's in. If he's not in, then I'll probably look at Okiki just because he's so cheap, and he's really been getting Banchero's minutes and playing pretty well. But I'm probably only going to one guy on that side. So probably 2 to 3 overall, with the majority of it on Phoenix.
Okay, and to answer your question, Cam Payne's 5,700 on DraftKings, 5,200 on FanDuel, and 17 on Yahoo.
Yeah.
So still affordable, but again, not a free square. My concern on this game, Deb, is that low total and the fact that Phoenix is just such a better team. We know Orlando has stepped up and had some decent games. I feel my concern on this game is it becomes lopsided at some point. And also the fact that, I don't like the DFS possession amounts here for the chance to get those extra points and the pace and Phoenix's defense. So I'm not going to focus on this game. I will say, though, if Banchero is out, Okiki is a play for me at 4-5 for sure. Now, I played him last time. He was my lowest scorer on that whole team that cashed, but he couldn't get the ball to drop. But he does take shots, and I think he's a playable commodity. Not a plug and play, but it would only be in the case if Banchero's out.
Yeah.
We've gotten to the point now with the rest of these guys where we used to be able to get them cheap. You can't get them cheap. There's not a sub 6K guy.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that. Bol at 6'7" and Carter at 7'6".
Yeah, and Suggs is 6'1", Franz Wagner 6'9", Banchero 8'7". So, usually DraftKings adjusts slightly when they're, playing against a good defensive team or a slower team like Phoenix. But I just think they're priced incorrectly, at least on the DraftKings side. So where we would get value for Orlando, it's sort of disappeared. But, it's not that I think Bol's a bad play or even a Wendell Carter or even a Jalen Suggs. But I'm not going to go over that 6K number for those guys in a game that's going to have a slow pace and against a stout defense like Phoenix. On the Phoenix side, Booker's been awesome. And if this game stays close, he could be a smash play. There's no doubt about it at 9-4. And I don't think a lot of people are going to want to commit to going to both Payne and Booker. And because Payne is almost $4,000 cheaper, even though, he's certainly not anywhere near the player Booker is, he did put up, Booker kind of numbers with that 50 burger the last time. So I'm going to watch closely. And right now I see Booker being low owned. And I think from a leverage standpoint, he could be a very sneaky pay up guy today. And so I got a big circle around Booker right now, and I'm going to watch where that ownership goes now that Paul's out.
Yep. Well, that's just it, right? I mean, with Paul being out and again, being thin on the backcourt, Shamet's usually, 2 or 3. Actually, it's usually, Payne comes in and then Shamet comes in. Payne starting, Shamet not there. Booker's going to get a lot of minutes, to your point, unless it's a blowout.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I love him low owned. Really surprised that I don't understand why Cam Payne is so low owned. I guess they weren't sure about Paul yet.
That's going to change. You're going to see him explode up the charts. I think, You'll see Payne get up into the top 10 in ownership now that Paul's out. No doubt about it. I mean, the fact that he was showing up on the board of ownership there even before Paul was announced tells you how popular he's going to be. I may eat that chalk. I mean, if Banchero's out, I would not mind having Payne and Okeke super duper cheap in that first game and then moving on and having all that salary to work with.
Absolute Power says Banchero is out.
I figured he would be. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So there you go. So we've got a couple of really good plays. I know Okeke let us down the last time, but again, he's a volume shooter. And once he gets it going, he's tough.
And I'm telling you, at 3,500, watch out for Damian Lee.
Okay. I'm a little bit afraid of Lee because I just don't know if he's carved out enough minutes in that role. But I do like him.
Yeah, he will tonight. Okay.
I'm with you. Another 7 o'clock game, Denver Nuggets, Boston Celtics, 230.5. This is one of the 4 games out of the 8 that has a 230 plus number, which is really unusual. So we've got some big scoring games according to Vegas. Again, Boston favored by 4.5, 113 implied for Denver, 117.5 for the Boston Celtics. Injuries, Gillespie and Smith remain out for Denver. Brogdon, which is important news, along with the 2 bigs for Boston that I refuse to mention because they keep putting them on the list. And neither one's going to play for a long time. So it's Gallinari and Williams, Robert Williams. So with no Brogdon, though, it does shake things up a bit. You've got two teams squaring off that are both 8-3. So that makes it very interesting. Denver's 9th in pace, Boston 21st. Both teams playing bad defense, though. 22nd for Denver. And can you believe Boston? And I think it's all because of Robert Williams. People that say Robert Williams is one of the best young defensive players in this league are crazy. And this proves it. Boston is 23rd, and this isn't a baby sample size anymore. I mean, it's reasonable enough. They've played 11 games. I mean, you get into double-digit games, you start seeing some numbers that make a difference, and they're just not defending. So, the implied totals here say maybe this is the game you go to. So I want to hear your breakdown, and are you going to go fishing for some Joker today?
Yeah, I am super tempted by Joker. Without Robert Williams in, Horford's a great defender, no doubt, but, Joker's at a whole different level. He has played Boston well in the past. He tends to get, a lot of rebounds and assists. So I am very tempted at going to him tonight. I haven't finished with my builds yet, so I'm not quite sure, but he's definitely one of my 3 pay-ups that I'm looking at. I also like Aaron Gordon here. I think Gordon's playing a lot better this year. I think that he, at under 6K, I think he's a decent value here. I particularly like him. I feel like Jamal Murray is I don't know, he's not there yet. And, Gordon's been getting assists. I think he's learned how to play with Joker. They play well together. And I think with Michael Porter Jr. in too, it takes some of the offensive pressure off of him. He gets a lot of dunks, fast breaks. So I like him here. And then on the Boston side of things, I'm tempted by Tatum. I hate paying for Tatum when Jaylen Brown is 2,000 less.
I know.
Because very often they get about the same number of fantasy points. So I'm leaning towards Brown tonight. Also from a defensive matchup standpoint, I like Jaylen Brown. Then sliding down the bench a little bit, I am intrigued by, I was just looking before I had my other meeting, but I was looking at the fact that Brogdon's not playing, trying to figure out who's going to get those extra minutes. Sam Hauser's been playing incredibly. I don't know what you think about him. I'm not sold on him yet. Obviously, Pritchard's pretty much out of the rotation, though. So for me, it's between Hauser and White for getting some of those minutes. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, on a slate this big, I can't go there, but I do think White and Hauser will get those Brogdon minutes, and then you're going to get a little extra run probably from Smart and Brown, but I just not enough, too much risk for me to go to either one of those guys. But I do think they'll both get minutes, and that's the problem. If I knew one of them was just going to get all those minutes, it'd be great. But I think they'll split them up. This of all of the 230 plus games, this is the one I like the least. Jamal Murray's tempting at 6'4". He's over 30 minutes now. They brought him along very slowly, but he's starting to really come into his own. But that price has crept up as well. So as tempted as I am at 6'4", I'm not sure I'd go there. Other than that, though, Aaron Gordon, I think you're right at 5'9" is a value piece that you can utilize. I'm not going to go to the Joker today at the high number. I've got some other spots I want to go to pay up, but always a threat to be a top scorer on the slate. But at 11-7, again, unless you're going to get 70, which very, very capable, it's going to be a little bit disappointing for you. So a spot that you can look at. Really, I'm with you on the Brown Tatum thing. It's always like pulling teeth for me because I don't want to spend up and then, share the usage. Grant Williams, I know it sounds crazy, but he's 4-1, and I think he's going to get a ton of minutes. And, as the last guy in, if you're going to go stars and scrubs, I don't think I need the value for sure. But on a lineup where I don't go with an Okeke or a Cameron Payne or one of the other value plays, I don't think Grant Williams is the worst play in the world. Now, definitely has a lower ceiling than a lot of guys, but he's got a fairly safe floor because, he's going to get some rebounds, a steal here and there, or a block. He's just a good hustle player. But I'm going to have very little ownership to this game.
Okay.
All right, game 3, Detroit Pistons at the New York Knicks. It is at 7:30. 225 total. Knicks favored by 8.5. 108.25 implied for Detroit. 116.75 for the Knicks. Pistons come in 3-9. Knicks are 5-6. We have Cade Cunningham, the big, huge piece of news that we need, because that changes a lot of things for Detroit if he's in or out. And then we have Burks probable, so we could get him back in the rotation. No Bagley or Diallo. For the Knicks, Grimes probable. We know Mitch Robb is out, and they've been Jericho Sims in it there with a little bit of Hartenstein coming off the bench again. So interesting game here from the standpoint that they do play fairly quickly, and they're not very good defensively. Detroit is 12th and Knicks 8th in pace. So that makes that 225 number look a little better. And then as far as defense, Detroit dead last. They're last in the league, Deb, 30th. And Knicks only 15th. And they were really priding themselves on defense. I like this game. I think it's sneaky.
Yeah.
What are you looking at in this game? Yep.
I think it's real sneaky. I think, to me, a lot of it is based on if Cade plays. So I'm if Cade does play, I'm on Ivy because Brunson will take Cade. And I like Ivy at 5'7". If Cade doesn't play, I like Sadiq Bey because he gets so much more usage when Cade's not playing.
Right.
And he's also, sub 6K at 5'5". And we've just seen when Cade doesn't play, the end of the year last year, his numbers were just enormous. RJ Barrett defensively, it does not scare me against Sadiq Bey. So that's how I'm going to play. I'm probably going to play Ivy or Bey, depending on the status of Cade. And then I really
we got the dog. The dogs are chiming in now.
So obviously they like that play too. I think Bogdanovich is way too cheap. I really like him as well in this game.
Okay.
And then I won't go after Hayes probably. I think his minutes get split with Corey Joseph, probably a little Alec Burks in there.
Right.
On the other side, I'm actually not tempted at the starters. And I think possibly Jalen Brunson, who I think is pretty fairly priced at 6'8". But he's not delivering excessive value. I mean, he's sort of hitting that number, but he's not pulling down a 45, 50 burger there. I'm not touching Cam Reddish with a 10-foot pole or RJ Barrett for that number. I can't believe RJ is 6'6". And Julius Randle, I just see other guys at a better value than his 7'9". So I'm really not looking at any starters. But what I do really like, again, just from a GTP standpoint, I like Quickly or Toppin. I've been noticing a trend with Quickly and Toppin. They're getting 20, 25 minutes, especially when the Knicks play against fast-paced teams. And Detroit being a fast-paced young team, this is where Quickly and Toppin excel. So I'm going to look to get one of those guys in. I mean, Toppin's 4K, Quickly's 4.3. So they're another nice value play as I'm thinking about stars and scrubs for the GPP.
Very nice. David Dulac made chicken cordon bleu in a sherry sauce, mashed potatoes. Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Can that be shipped, Mr. Dulac? What's going on?
What time is dinner?
Yeah. Well, hello, David, and welcome. Enjoy that lovely food. This is probably my key game of the night, Deb. Who'd think? Huh? Who would think it?
I know.
I love this game. I am going Jaden Ivey all the way. I've been high on Ivey anyway. I just like him in this matchup. He's only 5'7". Cunningham in or Cunningham out, I'm going with Ivey. I like him. I like him in here. If Cunningham sits, I'm going to do a backflip and see if I can land on my feet. I'm so excited to put him in there. And so if I show up in a neck brace tomorrow, you'll know what happened. But I really like Ivey. He's I think a strong play on the Pistons side. I'm doubling up on the Knicks today. They're going against a terrible defense with a lot of pace. Home game. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, welcome to the Coach Talk family. 6'8" and 7'9". I think they're underpriced. I believe Jalen Brunson's a 7K plus player, and I know Julius Randle's an 8K plus player. So I feel like I'm getting bargains there, and I think they're going to get the majority of everything. Jericho Sims, really? And, a little Hartenstein off the bench. Cam Reddish at 3.1. I wouldn't take him for 0.1. Look at his production. He stinks. And RJ Barrett, he'll throw a decent game in once in a while, but he's just not a great NBA basketball player. I'm sorry. He was the second overall pick. Everybody thinks he's something, but that's what they got, man. It's Brunson and Randle and pray for rain, as a baseball terminology would go. And I don't ratchet up two key guys from a team very often. I just like this spot, man. I really like it. So
the other thing is I think they got crushed by Detroit earlier this year at home.
Yeah,
so
Detroit has their attention, believe me. Yeah, and it's in Madison Square, sold out a Friday night. Place is going to be hopping. I'm going to have to get the old Knicks jersey out. That's for sure. So I love it.
All right, cool.
So, all right, we go on to the next one. Yes, we have a great amount in chat. So let's hit that thumbs up, because I don't see the thumbs up following the numbers in chat. We could use the thumbs up because it really helps us on YouTube.
Absolutely.
8 o'clock, Toronto Raptors, Oklahoma City Thunder. We have back-to-back games of 219.5 totals, which is not that great, with 4 games over 230. Toronto is favored by 5, 112.25 implied for the Raptors, 107.25 implied for your Oklahoma City Thunder. Toronto Raptors 7-5 coming in, the Thunder 4-7. Champagne is questionable for Toronto. Achua, Birch, Siakam, of course, the big news that he's been out, still out for Toronto. Baisley out for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Interesting. I do have one player from this game that I like, but not a whole lot. What are you thinking?
Not a whole lot at all. I've got, at one point I was going to fade this game entirely. But going back to my stars and scrubs strategy, I'm looking at either Otto Porter or Thaddeus Young, believe it or not.
Oh my goodness.
I'm pulling out the Thaddeus Young. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, they are, Coloco's not going to play, 48 minutes a game.
No.
Boucher, I don't know. I can't figure out Boucher. I think he's raw,
Nobody
but
can.
got
He
talent.
needs to go to a new team. They just need to ship him out of there.
Exactly. Like he just, he gets buried. But we've seen Otto Porter Jr. He played great for last year for Golden State. He comes in, he gets a lot of stocks. He can, he just sort of does some little things. And at 3.6K, he's going to get a lot of. He's going to back up Barnes, and then he's going to get some center minutes even. Thaddeus Young, I don't know. He made, he played, 26 minutes. He had 0 points, but he had like 9 rebounds and a block. I mean, again, at 3.1K, you're talking the minimum on a guy who's going to get minutes tonight. So, yeah, maybe. And then the other guy I was looking at was Gary Trent. I think he's, at 5'8", I think.
Yeah.
He's decently priced against, a team not known for their defense. I'm not a huge Gary Trent fan, though. I know you are, so I might leave him to you.
I'm not a big Gary Trent fan.
But that was it. I mean, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes, they are going to get usage because of Siakam being out, but they're just priced pretty high. And you never know on any given night, one of them can give you, 24 fantasy points versus 44. So I'm not going there. And I don't know. I don't love the pace of this game for OKC. And Shea, I think, is just priced too high for the stifling Toronto team defense. So that's where I am.
T. Sims, how are you, my friend? He says officially, or she, I'm not sure, Kate is out. So I have to do my standing backflip.
Ivy.
You ready for my standing backflip? Here it goes. I don't want to break my neck on a live podcast. So that is good to know. Good to know. I'm excited about that.
All right.
Couple things I want to address real quickly. Doug L., you're correct. On Ivy is $1,000 more on FanDuel. Now, that doesn't bother me because he'll be a lot less owned on FanDuel and DraftKings because of that pricing. Although he is, now that Cade's been announced early, you're going to see his ownership go up. I'm going to have him everywhere, obviously. David, boy from Cali, still around. He's just been busy, I think. He's been in and out on occasion. Darius Rucker, these hoodies, in fact, it was David Dulac's idea. We're going to give a hoodie away this weekend. So stay tuned, members. It's going to be a member that wins it. So if you want to become a member at Coach Talk, you can see dfscoachtalk.com, and we are going to give one away. So you definitely want to check that out. If you want to order one, you were asking there, Darius, it is squadlocker.com, SQUADLOCKER.com. When you get in there, just search DFS space coach space talk, and we'll come up. We've got a whole bunch of different colors of these, all kinds of really good stuff. And I set that store up where we make zero. We just pass any savings on to anybody that wants to sport. We appreciate that you're sporting the Coach Talk stuff. So it's the prices stay a little bit lower and the quality is phenomenal. Isn't it, Deb?
Oh my God. I know. I just got mine on Wednesday. My husband's totally jealous. I think I may end up stealing it from me. I love it. It's really sweet.
I love it, man. I love it. All right. As far as my take on this game, to jump back in, not my favorite game. My favorite pace here, again, 22 and 10 are the pace, but 9 and 7 defensively. So you have 2 of the top 9 squads in the NBA. So hats off to the Thunder. People say a lot of defense is just hustle and intensity and not just it's plain talent. And the Thunder and their coach there is proving that. So Not liking this game the way it lays out for pace, and SGA at 9.2 is a fair number. He's cracked a lot of slates. I think Fred VanVleet is underpriced at 8.4. Those are the only two guys I would consider here. I don't know if I'll have the salary for either one of them, but I don't particularly want to go to the secondary guys, in Trent or Anunoby. Barnes is up to 8K. I just, the cheap guy, the value guy, Deb, that I like a little bit here is Poku. He's 5'2". He's playing a lot of minutes, and don't get fooled because of that double overtime game. Everybody got extra minutes in that game, but he's cheap. Dort's all the way down to 5'4". How about that?
I know.
But he has not played well offensively. So big risk there. Yeah. The one guy that I'll say, though, and I want your opinion on him real quick, is Josh Giddey. He's 6'5". Yeah. So you save almost, $3,000 from SGA. And we know he can throw a triple-double up at any time. Any interest there at that mid-level price?
Yeah, I'm not building out much of a mid-level lineup.
Okay.
I think his price is fair, though. I think you're right. He came close. I mean, he had a really good game his last outing. He's coming back from being injured. That was his best game since he's been back. I just don't quite trust you got a lot of arms and legs on Toronto. Between Barnes and Anunoby. So sometimes Giddey can get in there and get those rebounds and stuff. But I'm a little concerned with this team here. So I don't see him hitting that triple-double in this game.
Yeah,
so I'm staying away.
I'm gonna pretty much fade this game too, but I don't think the value guys or paying all the way up for VanVleet or SGA are a bad move. I don't think this is a fade game in that sense. But, when you have 16 teams playing, you can't have representation from everybody. And if I'm going to roster 3 guys or so from that Pistons-Knicks game, you got to really pick your spots from there.
Definitely. All right.
Okay, 8 o'clock. And then we have a big break all the way till 9:30 for the next game. But again, 8 o'clock, Bucks, Spurs, or I don't know what's the Milwaukee Bucks G League team, because you got all their subs basically in here. They are just decimated with injuries. It is only a 219.5 total. Spurs are favorite. Crash is going to roll over and throw up, and he sees the Bucks are an underdog to the Spurs. 108.75 implied for Milwaukee, 110.75 for the Spurs. You've got the Bucks 10-1, Spurs 5-7. I think that's starting to wake up screaming like I expected. Connaughton is a questionable, or no, he's probable now for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That could, sway some of the rotation. No Giannis, Green, Holiday, Ingles, or Middleton. For the Spurs, Zach Collins and Blake Wesley are out. So, interesting set of circumstances here. Milwaukee Bucks, as we mentioned at the beginning, if you happen to miss it, they are just dominating the ownership side of things with Javon Carter right now projected number 1, Bobby Portis number 2, and Brook Lopez number 4. So 3 of the top 4 coming from the Bucks. Are you going to any of these guys?
Man, I just feel like Javon Carter is a big old trap. I mean, the guy the guy's been in the league for several years and has a career game. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Did you see how many shots he took?
Oh God, I know.
He took 27 shots.
I think that's more than he's taken all year.
I bet you that he may have only had 27 shots last season.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, God, I just don't know. He's not that expensive, but I feel like it's a trap.
Do you?
I don't expect him to get another 30 plus points.
I don't either. I'm with you. Rich Williams, I got to say to Rich Williams, don't give up on Ivy, man. He's going to pull it together tonight. Have the faith, my friend. Have the faith.
Give up. What I've got is, Portis, but I can't believe it's to pay $7,000 for Portis. But
you don't have to get so choked up about it.
I know. Why don't you start this one while I?
Will you get your breath back? I'm fading Javon Carter. I refuse to eat the chalk. So if you want to go with him, he's 5,300. That's not a free square. There's no I'm telling you right now that he's not going to produce that same game. No way. He's just not. I don't see it. Regression's there. I don't like the chalkness, and I'm fading him. So it is what it is. As far as the other guys, Bobby Portis, to me, at 7K, he had just a very average game the last time out. I like him a lot, though. I'm going right back to him. Brook Lopez was the hero for us in that lineup and had a terrific game, played a crazy amount of minutes. I don't think he's played that many minutes maybe since his rookie season, way back. But I'm going Bobby Portis all in on him. He's 32% owned right now, so I know you got to eat the chalk there. He's got to have a big game here. And the Spurs' interior defense is not that good in general. In this game, by the way, Milwaukee's 15th in pace. San Antonio is playing fast at 5th. So I think that's a lot of the reason as well that Milwaukee's getting a lot of this ownership. Milwaukee's first in defense, but again, they've got their best players out, so that's really tainted. How about this, though? Spurs, even though they somehow by fluke won those 5 games early, they're second to last in defense. So, I don't expect them to win more than 15 games this year. You can call me crazy. I've been saying that all along, but it is what it is. And I just think you have to have some Milwaukee exposure here. I just don't believe in stacking it, and I don't believe that Javon Carter, after this amount of time in the league, by far his career game, I can't go back to him. I'm not a Grayson Allen guy at all. I think Beauchamp is probably going to have some rotational minutes taken from Connaughton and a few guys. So, I mean, you can go back to Portis or Lopez. I prefer Portis in this game. Feel really good about that play, and I think he bounces back. On the Spurs side, Trey Jones is always a decent go-to guy for me when I'm looking for a cheaper guy at point. He's only 5'6". Vassell and Johnson, yes, they have ceilings, but they also have pretty good floors. So I'm not a big fan there. I haven't been rostering the Spurs, even when they were the chalk team to everybody, and it's paid off getting away from them. So this could be a Portis and move on for me, to be honest with you.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I am Portis and Trey Jones.
And by the way, good point. Good point from Doug L. Portis is 5,800. If you don't have him 100% owned on FanDuel, then you need to play PGA golf or something, because you just can't pass that, man.
That's right.
All right.
So, all right.
Next game, we're going to keep on trucking here. Now we go to the late games. There's 3 of them, Deb. 9:30, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves and Memphis Grizzlies. 2:34. So we got a very healthy total. In fact, the number 1 total on the slate. And Memphis is only favored by 4. So this is going to be the game that I think most people will try to stack. You've got 2 really nice implied totals, both 115 plus, which you don't get very often at all. And Minnesota 115 and Memphis 119. So hard to ignore this game for sure. Minnesota's 5-7. Memphis is 8-4. No Garza, Minot, or Reed for Minnesota. Green, Jackson, and Williams out for Memphis. So you've got all your main studs in there. And this is also, though, something to remind you of. This is the ESPN national game. And those games have a tendency to get a little over-owned. Then you got it being the highest total on the board. So that's the only part about stacking this game, is you're going to have to probably grab a few pieces of chalk here that aren't the greatest. But pace-wise, Minnesota 2nd, Memphis 16th. Defensively, Minnesota 13th, Grizzlies a shocking 24th, not defending well. So are you going to go with this game as a key game, or some exposure, or against the grain and fade?
I like this game, and I feel like we're gonna have a little late night sweat going on tonight because we have the 3 late games are all over 2:30, and they're all projected to be within 4 or 5 points on the spread. So
Right.
I may throw into for our members, I may throw a lineup in that I'm looking at that only plays. It's the full slate, but only plays from these 3 games to try and see if yeah.
Or we could throw an
an
after hours. We could always throw an after hours up there.
I could throw in the after hours, right? But then I feel like I'm playing against everyone looking at just those 3 games.
Right.
So this is a little contrarian, just taking a look, because most people, I feel like by the time then, a lot of times ownership of those late games is a little less. So we'll see.
A lot of times it's the case because people are, afraid. They want the instant numbers, or they're afraid of a change, or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I may throw one in there. Sorry. All right. So what do I have here? I've got. I really like Ja a lot.
Okay.
He was one of, in addition to Joker, he was one of the key pay up guys I'm looking at. I'll pay that 10K. I think he's going to. One of the things about this game that's interesting too is it's a rematch. They haven't played each other this year, but they did play each other in the playoffs.
Right.
And Morant just went nuts. Russell can't guard him, and he's just so much fun to watch against a team like Minnesota. So
yeah.
I like Morant a lot in this game, more so than Brooks, who's getting up there over 8K, or Bain, who's getting up there over 8K. But I do like Brooks. Again, 5.6, pretty decent value there. So I like Brooks in this game. And then the other guy that I'm looking at from the Memphis side, and again, based a little bit more on how he played in those playoffs last year, and that's Brandon Clark. He had a huge playoffs against Minnesota. Adams, the big change though is that Gobert's there. So Gobert,
and that's a pretty big change, like 7-2 bit.
It's a big change.
3-time defensive player of the year change.
Yeah. But I think that Clark's going to come in, play some center for Adams when Gobert's sitting, and play some power forward for Aldama as well. I think there's been a shift going on a little bit. Aldama started out really strong, but he's been coming down a bit. So I even thought about Tillman, who also played great in those playoffs. I think Tillman is really underrated. I'd love to see him on another team.
He's not getting any minutes though.
He's getting nothing. He's just buried. So, but yeah. So So Clark is my third guy there. I like him a lot at just 4.2K. And then on Minnesota, I'm surprised that Edwards is at 7,500. I was really surprised by that. I think that's too low for him, particularly in this fast-paced game. So I like Edwards, and my little ode to I always blank on this word. What do you call it when it's the thing that you hate? What's that?
Well, give me a clue.
I know. It's the thing that you hate, where it's like, oh, someone played on this team, now they play on the other team, so it's like payback. Narrative. Right.
Okay,
So do we have the slow-mo Kyle Anderson narrative?
True.
I'm probably not going to go to him just because I've got a lot of guys I like in that 4 to 5K range. But it's intriguing. He's getting the minutes. They need his defense.
It is a good point. No doubt about it. I have my favorite payout play on the slate in this game, and it is Ja Morant. I agree with you. I'll pay the 10K flat. I have the salary because there's enough value. Perfect matchup. Minnesota, the second fastest paced team. It's a national TV game. I think Ja really steps up here. I love that play tonight. And I don't mind actually D'Angelo Russell. I'd rather save the 1,100 from Anthony Edwards because Edwards is going to get Bain defense.
Yeah.
And Bain is such a good all-around player. I mean, what a terrific draft pick he was.
Yeah,
for them.
you know what? I would be careful on Russell. He has been losing minutes this year. I watched him when they played the Suns. He looked like dog do. He had no giddy up. The coach is benching him. I think, I don't know. I'd be real careful. He's not that cheap, that you can just
he's not a
flyer.
Giveaway price. I'm with you. And on top of that, I think Jalen Noel is terrific. I mean,
he's a spark plug.
He's a spark plug to that team. I wouldn't roster him right now at 4-2, but something to keep an eye on down the road. Now, I'm with you. I think D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards can both be just complete dogs out there. Those are two guys that just don't look motivated sometimes. And they just are running around. They get lost out there. The only reason I have a little, and I don't have him in my build right now, and I agree with you that Russell's a threat, but at 6'4", if he gets the big minutes, Jaw's not a good defender either. And that's who he's going to draw. It's a consideration, but I do agree with you in that sense. Where I'm not going to go is I'm not going to go with the bigs here, though. I think Cat at 9'3", it's just a lot of commitment for some of the interior rotation defensively for Memphis. I don't think it's as bad as it's shown to this point. And we know when Minnesota's at full strength, it's hard. Cat has not had those insane 75, 85 point games like he used to get, because he's just not going to get the rebounds and everything that Gobert's going to grab from him. So, I will have a lot of commitment here to Ja. So it's going to be an important game for me because he'll be my highest spend on the slate. But after that, though, I'm probably not going to go there for the combination of reasons that I think that you're going to have a lot of usage split, and the numbers show that. If you ever want to look that stuff up, for those that are maybe listening for the first time, go to basketball-reference.com. I use that every day for my preparation. And if you're getting prepared for these and you want to see usage, go to advanced stats. It allows you to put guys on and off the floor and see what those usage numbers are. And to me, the most important statistic you can look at when preparing an NBA DFS lineup is usage, because that shifts with people on and off the floor, and that's going to get you your DFS points. And that, not just points, rebounds, assists, steals, all of those pieces of the usage of what you're doing on the floor and how much potential you have upside. And you can weigh out your ceiling that way very easily. So, for me in this game, because there's going to be some over ownership in that usage split, like I say, I won't focus on this game. Maybe a one-off for Minnesota at best, and just rolling the chips in the middle on Mr. Ja, hoping he has a better performance than when I rostered him last time, which was just average. 2 games left. Dylan Brooks, they're asking. Dylan is cheap, but he's a risk. I love playing Dylan Brooks in GPPs, because at 5'6", he can break a slate for you, or he can break your heart. So it's a tough call on him, but he is a little too cheap, and he would be my second play. As much as I love Desmond Bane, he's like one of my favorite players in the league. And people are saying, what, Desmond Bane? You watch his game. The dude is super young. He plays every possession like it's the last possession, defensively and offensively. Does all the little things away from the ball. He is a terrific player. But the fact that he's over 8K now, I can't.
That's high.
Too high. All right. We've got 2 games left, Deb. This one's extremely interesting. Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors. 232 healthy total, 2.5 favoritism to the Warriors, 114.75 implied for Cleveland, 117.25 for the Golden State Warriors. Cleveland comes in 8-3, Golden State 4-7. So definitely need to shake the card up there in Golden State. Rubio and Windler remain out for Cleveland. DiVincenzo probable. Iguodala is out for Golden State. Wow, what an interesting game. You got Cleveland 25th pace. Cleveland plays slow. Golden State playing the fastest in the NBA. Cleveland, 3rd defensively. Golden State, 25th. That's got to make
I don't
her.
get that.
He
still
has
do
to
not
be up
get
at
that.
night, not sleeping on that, man.
I don't get that.
What are you
I
going to
don't
do
get
here?
it at all. Yeah. The one thing that just keeps bugging me is this notion of, Golden State defense, how bad it is. I just keep thinking they're better than that. So on Golden State side, slower pace, so I'm not going to pay up for Steph. I think, the Garland defense isn't great, but I don't know. I wasn't as excited. I was, when I look at what Ja can do in his game versus Steph, they're priced about the same. I'm going Ja. So no Steph for me. I still can't take the risk on Clay. He's feeling like the new Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
He's priced similarly, and I just can't seem to get him right.
Yeah.
But the guy who's been consistent, and I can't believe is under 7K, is Wiggins. So
Yeah.
I'm going Wiggins.
Are you going Wiggins? You're going to get wiggy with it, huh?
I'm getting wiggy.
Oh, wow.
I am going Wiggins. And that's the only guy that I just looked at everyone else and their pricing isn't working for me. Jordan Poole, I don't know, against Cleveland's defense. I think I'm sticking with one guy. It's Wiggins. And on the other side, I'm going big. I think Mobley, Allen, and Love, I think will all hit value. And I just have to decide based on, I'm leaning towards Allen of the three, but also based on salary. Mobley is just so cheap. So cheap.
Is. Yep.
But don't sleep on Love. He pulls off these games, and with a poor defense and a high scoring, I think Love could do some damage and rebounds and points. So he's another sub 5K guy that I'm eyeing.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has upside. I'm more of a GPP to me. No doubt about it.
I'm the GPP player, right?
Yes. And it definitely, some concern there. Rich Williams' revenge narrative. He was just helping you come up with your term.
Right.
And Jason Garnett. I haven't seen you in here in a while. I always remember that because I hated Jason Garrett, the ex-Cowboys coach, so much. Yeah. Not that I'm saying that's you, Jay. I love Jason Garnett, but I hate Jason Garrett. But yeah, Cleveland has had a few slip-ups on the road here defensively, but overall, they still play slow and they still defend. And I'll tell you what, I'll take Jared Allen and Evan Mobley as my two interior defenders right after Rudy Gobert. I mean, those two guys can really protect the rim. So definitely. Oh, Wiggins. Okay. Used to play for the Cavs. Okay. The number 1 overall pick. Yeah, I don't know, water sort of.
Did he ever play for them, or did he get traded on? Was he the guy who got traded on draft day?
He was picked number 1 overall by them. Did he ever suit up for them? Why am I drawing a blank?
Did he get traded right to Minnesota?
Oh, yeah, he did. That was the trade for Cat. Wasn't that? Or no, who was it? Why am I drawing a blank on this now? All right, I do. Somebody tell us.
We're going to look that up.
We're having old time brain.
I know. I'm having a senior moment.
Yeah, Wiggins suited up for Cleveland, didn't he? Or am I losing my mind?
I'm looking. No, Minnesota since 2014.
Oh, okay.
He was picked by Cleveland.
Right.
And who was he traded for?
That was the Kevin Love trade. Kevin Love. Yeah, that's what it is. Speaking of Kevin Love, there you go. Crazy. Yeah. Pain blank SM, I beat you to it. Sorry. Nice try, though. Traded for Braun and Love. Braun?
No, wait a second. No.
Braun didn't play for Minnesota.
They got Wiggins, Anthony Bennett, and Thaddeus Young.
Anthony Bennett was the number 1 overall choice, by the way.
Yes.
Worst number 1 choice in the history of the NBA.
Worst ever. The Wolves got so the Wolves sent Love to Cleveland and Luke Richard Mamute and Deb to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And Justin Jennings. Yes. Wiggins for Love. That was the big deal back then to think that took place. That's funny. And then he ends up like a cast off with Golden State. People had given up on him. Well, if you remember, he never played any defense.
No defense. No defense.
Yeah, he just wasn't motivated. They got a hold of him in Golden State there, and man, talk about turning a guy's career around. It's just amazing. All right, somehow we got totally off base here, but that's cool. I could talk basketball all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And awesome. I normally do. So there you go.
All right, so that's my take. So you're going on the bigs. All right. So what's your take on this game?
I'm not a humongous fan of this game. I don't believe that I want to spend the big money for Curry. I don't have the confidence in Clay. I don't like the pace, and I do like the defense that Cleveland plays. I know they've had a few bad first halves recently, but I think they'll come out and be decent. And I don't like paying up for Mitchell over $9K now that Garland's back. Garland is coming off just a 1-for-9 game at 7-4's not giveaway. And, Karis LeVert, I've been down on him. I'd prefer one of the bigs. I think Evan Mobley just at 5'7" is just a ridiculous price. I can't pass that up. I mean, you look at other guys across the board here that are 5'7". There's some guys that come off the bench that are that price. So strictly on value alone, I like him. I do like Jared Allen too. I mean, I wouldn't play both of them, but 6'6" Allen, he's had some bad games mixed in though on this trip. So a little worried about that. Now that they're healthy, they're bringing Love and Wade and Osman and Okoro, those guys off the bench. So the minutes get, sniped a little bit. So this is probably the game that I'm going to have to hold my breath and hold my nose and pray that it doesn't go nuts, because I'm not, Wiggins at 6'9", Mobley at 5'7" would be the two guys that I have interest, but not a whole lot.
We're pretty close there.
Last game, Sacramento Kings, LA Lakers, 10:30, 231 is the total, 4.5. Sacramento, a road favorite against the Los Angeles Lakers.
How did this become such a stinker game?
Poor Lakers fans have to just be throwing up. There's no doubt about it. So 117.75 implied for Sacramento, 113.25 for the Lakers. Obviously, we know everybody and their brothers out for the Lakers, except we don't know on Anthony Davis for sure. That's what we have to know. Sacramento's healthy. We have probable tag on Lonnie Walker. AD questionable, which we're sort of feeling is more like doubtful, but we'll see. No Bryant, James, or Schroeder. They're still out. So the big thing is here, do you go where everybody seems to be going? And do you go to your buddy, Russell Westbrook, off the bench, or whatever the case may be?
I hate him. but yes.
Oh, no, Deb's falling for it.
Yeah,
guess what? So am I.
I know.
I can't pass them up.
I mean, come on. If Anthony Davis in particular doesn't play, they've got, who else are they going to get offense from? I know you're going to go after Troy Brown Jr., but I mean, you're not going to get 50 points from him. So.
Why not? No, I'm just kidding. I'm with you. I mean, for me, it's real simple. If Anthony Davis doesn't play, I'm just going to play Russell Westbrook.
Totally.
I mean, I just don't see how you get, his usage is going to be like 40-some%.
Right.
Yeah.
Off the chart.
And he's not shy. He's going to shoot it.
You know what? This is the kind of environment he thrives in. Clearly.
Oh, he loves this. I mean, the fact.
Man, he's playing much better. Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you. Now,
so I am with you there.
What if
Troy
AD
Brown? I mean, I will look at him. 4 or 5 starter minutes. I'll look at him. Lonnie Walker's the other guy, although I don't know if Lonnie Walker might play better when he's on the court with AD and LeBron. So
yeah, I think Lonnie Walker is a nice complementary player, but when you need a guy to step up and take over, he doesn't strike me as that guy. Yeah. Troy Brown Jr. is not obviously a super player either, but if those guys are all out, he is adept at stepping up. I remember games, there was a stretch there for Washington where he was a key guy in that rotation when they were shorthanded, and he steps up. So I would not mind. And again, you got to have value. You can't, we're not going to sit here and just give you all the chalk and all of the expensive players. So For me, Russ is a plug and play if Davis sits. He's a
Totally.
possible play even if Davis plays, but not guaranteed. And a value play for me. I just think that Troy is something worth looking at here because he's getting the minutes, no question about it. My big concern and question though is, are you going to go to any of these Sacramento players because they should have a field day?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I'm not going to go for Fox. 8.6K is a little rich, and he gets Patrick Beverley defense, we know he's a net. So I'm not going to go there. Herder, had a little bit of a heyday. I think it was a little bit of a flash in the pan. We've seen him play in Atlanta for long stretches where he doesn't do much. So I'm not going there. I like this rookie, Keegan Murray. He's going to continue to get better. I think, against the G team of the Lakers, I think he has a really solid game. I think he's going to get the minutes. So I'm looking there. And then I'm also looking at Sabonis if Anthony Davis sits. If Anthony Davis plays, probably not. But if Anthony Davis sits, put him in my lineup all day long, every day. Because who's going to guard him? Waylon Gabriel?
Yeah, I'll tell you though, I'm a huge Sabonis fan. I love that guy. I think he's terrific. But I'm telling you, this season thus far, he has been very underwhelming to me. I mean, he's been consistent, he's been solid, but I don't see the explosion games like he'd have once in a while, like he did with the Pacers. So just a little wary of Sabonis. Not that this isn't the perfect scenario for him. By the way, pace-wise, you've got Sacramento 13, the Lakers 4th, and defensively 26 Sacramento, 21st LA. So this is a game that's saying, roster me. There's no doubt about it. I think Mike Brown's a terrible coach, by the way, Rich. I've always thought he was a terrible coach. I thought he was a terrible coach when he had LeBron in Cleveland even. So it is what it is. Malik Monk is a dangerous player, Mr. Sims. I agree, or Mrs. Sims. I don't know. Sims. I know it's risky, but Monk is a little bit of narrative here too.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've got that in play, but it's risky. I just don't know. A couple of things too I wanted to mention for those, like I think Jay and a few other people said they may throw some key guys in there, or somebody else said they were going to play Davis, Westbrook, and late swap. Remember though, that game's at 10:30. There's a 10 o'clock and a 9:30, so don't get stuck if you don't get those lineups too early and not be able to swap to somebody. There's nothing worse than leaving like $3,000 on the table and having to swap to somebody that's a chump. So be very careful there. On the Sacramento side for me, it is a perfect matchup. 8-6 is a lot for Fox though. Like you said, with Pat Bev and some people harassing him. I do like Kevin Huerter at 5-2. There's another value play that you could play. Harrison Barnes always seems to play well against the Lakers. He's only 4.9. I know you got to hold your nose on some of these guys, but they're not the worst place. Keegan Murray at 5.2. I think he's closing in on getting better and better. He's just not 100% there yet. My concern with going too deep on Sacramento is their bench now. With Monk and Mitchell and some guys coming off the bench that are going to get decent roles now that they're healthy, definitely hurts a little bit, but probably not going to pay way up for Sacramento. But I would like to have either a Herder, Barnes, or Murray, slot taken as a value play to match up on the other side with Russ or maybe Troy or both. That's what I got, man.
I like it. All right.
Yep. Let's see. Mr. Sims. All right, we got you, Mr. Sims. We'll remember that from now on. I don't forget things. So I'll remember that until like an hour from now, but I will try to remember. All right. So that is everybody. Do we have any updated news? I'm going to check real quickly here. Check our good friend at Underdog. I do like Underdog NBA. I think they are terrific at getting the most up-to-date information, injuries, etc. And let's see. Bones Highland, questionable. Knicks are starting Brunson, Reddish, Barrett, Randall, Sims. We knew that. A lot of news for tomorrow. Yeah, nothing major else has broken. And we have 55 minutes till lock. So really, we do need the Anthony Davis news. But other than that, I think we have everything pretty much in place.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Definitely subscribe, hit the alert button so you know when we're going to be posting. If you're watching on Twitter live, please hit the like and retweet. If you want to become a member of Coach Talk, as I saw some people chatting in here, we are going to be in front of the paywall 2 or 3 times a week, 2, I think, for basketball, 1 for football, and then behind the paywall the rest of the time. So you need to become a member. Come and join us. 1 week's only $9. The link is listed right there, dfscoachtalk.com. All right, we have 2 things to do. We have to give away tickets, what we're going to do in a second. And we're going to build a super quick we have like 9 minutes because that's sort of my internal clock of how long I've got us going. So how about we build a 2 brains or better one than 1 FanDuel GPP, and we're going to build this for our man Mike Tyson alone. If nobody else play it, Mike's going to play it, right?
Okay.
All right, here we go. You want the first pick?
What are we doing on FanDuel?
FanDuel.
FanDuel. Okay, here we go. Yes.
FanDuel GPP. Enter new lineup. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. I'm going to go with who am I going to go with? Anthony Wiggins.
Going with
I'm not going with Anthony Wiggins. That's a tease. I'm not going with him. Hang on.
You're not going with Wiggins? All right. Well, just like I do to Crash, you forfeited your first pick. I'm taking John Morant.
Super. Go ahead. Who you got? John Morant. Okay. That's all right.
I always do that to Crash too. So
I know. I don't know why I wasn't ready.
Oh, that's all right.
All right. I'm going with GPP. All right. Killing me here. I'm going with Portis.
You're going with Portis?
At power forward.
I'm going with Westbrook.
All right.
At point guard.
Yep.
I can't believe Westbrook's so high on my list today.
All right. So now, I know, seriously, that's a little crazy. All right. I'm going with, I think I'm going with Clark. Let's see what, yeah, I'm going with Clark.
You're going with Brandon Clark?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Want to get a little value for us. I think I'm going to go now. Let me make sure here because I got 2 picks keyed up here. Can't afford him. I'm going to go with Okiki.
Okay.
At small forward.
All right. I like that.
Chuma Okiki. Oh, I'm sorry. He's a power forward.
He doesn't qualify, huh? All right.
We got to put him
in power. You want to move Bobby Portis to center or?
Yes. Bobby Portis at center. Why is Chuma Okiki plays the 3 more than the 4?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. All right. So we have Okiki, Clark, and Portis as the bigs.
All right. So I'm going with. How much is Ivy?
That's who I was going to take next. So that is a cool pick. He's 6'7".
Nope. Then I'm going with Sadiq Bey.
Okay. I'm going with Jaden Ivey then.
All right.
So we have $5,700 Sadiq Bey and $6,700 Jaden Ivey. So that gives us 2 spots and $8,150. We've never had that kind of money left.
Wow. Big bucks.
We can actually pay up for somebody here.
I know. Booker?
Sure.
All right, let's do Booker.
Book it. Book it.
Book him.
So that
And we can still get Wiggins.
I still have
Edwards.
Andrew Wiggins.
Yes.
There we go. Perfect.
That's it.
So here we go. Here's the two brains are better than one lineup, GPP. Ja Morant and Russell Westbrook, Jaden Ivey and Devin Booker, Sadiq Bey and Andrew Wiggins, Chuma Okeke, Brandon Clark, and Bobby Portis.
Cool.
There we go.
I like it.
Knock it out. I am locking that in.
Knocking out of the park.
And now we're going to give away a ticket. So if I call you out, please, real quickly, jump on Twitter. We're at DFS Coach Talk. And by the way, you can go to at DFS Coach Talk there on Twitter. We have posted our podcast lineup so that you don't have to miss any podcasts. All right, the winner of a ticket for tonight. So if you send me the Twitter, DM me right away, we are going to give you that ticket so you can play tonight. The winner is Doug L. Doug L is a Doug W. Doug W tonight. He's already done it with one win right there. So congratulations, Doug. Great to have you with us and have you win. So appreciate all of you. My single entry lineup, two brains better than one. Let's see. What's he saying? One down. He's laughing about, is that a winner, a good thing, a bad thing?
I don't know. You guys know that was my single entry lineup. Wow.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow. Crazy. All right.
Well, hit them both, man. Hit them both.
Awesome.
All right. Justin, thanks for joining us. Mr. Jennings and the whole group. We had a great group today. Fantastic. And then you can catch this weekend. We'll be on. Crash and I are tomorrow. I'll be solo Sunday for basketball. And then for football, we're going Sunday morning, Deb. Did you know that?
I know. I think it's a great idea.
Crash and Steven, rather than going tomorrow night, the majority wins. They want 10:30 a.m. Sunday Eastern time for the football. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate the entire group. Thanks for listening in. And certainly hope you just crush it tonight.
Good luck, everyone.
Yep. Have a great one. We'll try to coordinate next time. Maybe we'll wear the same hat on top of it. So thank you, Deb. Appreciate you jumping in, and let's crush it tonight for sure. Right, so thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy the weekend. And we will be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and Boom Fantasy.